In this final video on functions, we are going to focus on composite functions. You will find this on page 231 in the Namibian Ordinary Level Mathematics textbook, y equals mx+c to success. Composite functions. Composite functions is a function of a function. One function is applied to the result of another. Say for example, g of x means fx is substituted into gx. So it means it's almost like always starting from the back. You take this one and you substitute it in g. So if we have an example of this and I ask you this, remember what I said just now, start always at the back. So first work out f4. So if I put 4, then I will get 6. And that result, that output, you put in g. And that is x squared, g is x squared. So the answer will be 36. So substitute 4 into fx and the answer, the result, into gx. And that's what it's actually meaning. But let's look at another example. fx equals this and gx equals this. Find gf minus 2. So in this case, I'm going to get this and I'm going to substitute this and I'm just going to, so always remember, can I just highlight this? Start from the back. So I work out f minus 2, I get 6. I put that 6 into gx, g of x, and then I get the answer. The same here. Now I will first start with g and I put in negative 2 and I get 0. And that answer, that results, I put into f. And that's actually how I do it. Not so difficult. I want you to stop the video and I want you to do just number 1. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Let's start. Number 1, A. So, before I write A, I'm just going to write down the functions. So fx will be 2x minus 1 and gx will be x squared plus x. So if I start with number A and I have g f3, now remember what I said, start from the back. So I will first start by saying f3 equals 2 and I put it in f3 minus 1, which will be 6 minus 1, which will be 5. And then I will say g5, okay, because that answer is going to be 5. And that will be 5 squared plus 5, and that's 25 plus 5, and that will give me an answer of 30. So therefore, it's nice to end by saying just want to get that correct, gf3 will give me a final answer of 30. Okay, let's do number B. Now in number B, I'm just going to move this a bit down. In number B, I'm saying fg3. Now again focus. I start with g. So in this case, I'm first going to say g3 and go to g and that's going to give me 9 plus 3 and that's going to give me 12. Okay, and now I will find f12 and that will be 2 times 12 minus 1, which is 24, minus 1, which is 23. No, sorry. So, therefore, fg3 equals 23. As easy as that. Okay, now I'm going to start putting expressions or no values or just an expression in. Okay, so we're going to make it a little bit more difficult. So again, this is f, this is g, this is h. There are three different functions. If I ask you, and I'm just bringing in a fraction, so this one, so again in g, start from the back, so I put the 2/3 and I get a third. And then I put it in fx and a third, and it's just a bit of fractions, and I just simplify, and that's the answer. So start from the right, from the back, okay. And then if they do something, they say HH, they repeat the function. So basically, you're going to first substitute in H, and then that answer, you're going to substitute again in H. And that's actually all that you do. Okay. Let's move up and let's try one. And again, will I let you do 2 with the fraction? Yeah, I think so. Let's do 2. Bit more number A as well as B. I'm going to move it a little bit down. Then I'm going to make space. Again, you can stop the video, and as soon as you are finished, you can continue the video. So, this is number 2A. So, okay, before we write A, this is going to be gx equals 2x plus 10, and hx equals 1 over x. People, I want you to explain, why is this standing there? A lot of times people don't. It's just to say x cannot be 0 because it's invalid to divide by 0. So that's why it's standing there. Okay, so if I start with number A, so it's gh negative 1 over 5. Start from the right, start from the back, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to use this color. So it's h negative 1 over 5. Make sure you go to h, there's h. So it's 1 over, and I'm not going to use a calculator. You can do it without a calculator. So because it's actually just 1 over 1 multiplied, don't throw it the reciprocal. Because it's, so it's going to give you negative 5. And now I'm just going to put it in G. So I'm actually going to put that negative 5 into G, and that is going to give me, okay, this is number 2. Try now. I just want to check something quickly. This is just, I'm just going to repeat now. And then I'm just going to put it in, and that's negative 5. So put it there in G. And that's negative 10 plus 10, and that's going to be what? 0. And then end nicely by saying GH negative 1 over 5, and that will be an answer of 0. Okay, that's the easy way. Let's do number B. Okay, in number B, they are asking also the double, G negative 2. And now again, start there. Start with G, negative 2, and that's 2, negative 2 plus 10, and that's negative 4 plus 10, and that is going to be 6. So, if I'm going to say G, 6, that result again into G, I keep to G, it's double. So it's going to be 2, 6 plus 10, and that's going to be 12 plus 10, and that's going to be 22. And I like to end nicely by saying therefore G negative 2 is going to be 22. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, now in this example, I'm not putting a number. I keep it x, and sometimes they can even leave out that x, and they can just say find gf, but it's meaning gfx. Okay, so remember they can keep it out. Now again, remember the story from the right or from the back. It's almost like they are just saying to you, take f and just put it in G. That's what they are trying to say to you. So I always prefer that people write fx, put a circle around it, and then write gx, but in the place of x, put that circle, the value of that circle. And it's just going to be algebra, so just simplify. Remember, that's a double, and it's two terms inside. So you either have to do the short way by saying 2x squared plus 2x squared is 4x squared, negative 1 is plus 1, but there's a middle term. So 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x times 2 will be negative 4x, or do the two brackets. But don't make the mistake and leave out the middle term. Okay, and then just simplify that. And then this one, if I look at this one, now it's just the opposite. I will take G and I will throw it in F, and again just simplify and get your answer. Okay, so in this case, in example 7, number gives a number value as the answer. In this, it gives an algebraic expression. Okay, I want you to stop the video, and I just want you to do number 1, A and B. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Okay, number 1, and I'm first going to write down your functions. It's going to be px equals 2x plus 1 and qx equals x squared plus 1. And now I'm going to get number A, which is pqx. Now, remember, always from the back. Now, I like to tell learners, go to Q. First go to Q. Make a circle around Q. And you are going to throw it in P in the place of X. So basically, I'm just going to say, and I'm going to write it now, 2, bracket, throw that blue in, x squared, circle in, and just continue. Do you see? And then I just simplify. 2x squared plus 2 plus 1 equals 2x squared plus 3. Okay, so try now 2x squared plus 3. Now I think the next one is going to be the opposite. Okay, and now because I used that one, I want to write it again. So px was 2x plus 1 and qx was x squared plus 1. Okay, and now I'm going to have, it's number B. Now again, I'm asking you to find q, p, x. Now remember, always from the back, from the right. So go to px, there is px. Make a circle on the right hand side, and then throw it in the place of x. So if I'm writing that down, I focus here. I'm going to write 2x plus 1 squared plus 1. Now be careful, you can do it on the side. But this is going to be 2 terms, and I like to teach learners the short method and not multiplying the brackets out, because as soon as you see 2 terms, there will be 3 terms inside. So it's going to be 2x times 2x. That's going to be 4x squared. Then the middle one is going to be 2x times 1 times 2. So that's going to be 4x. And then 1 times 1 is just going to be 1 plus 1. Okay. And if you struggle with that, then do it like this. Write it 2 times out and multiply. So you will get also 4x squared plus 2x multiply plus 2x plus 1, and that will give you exactly the same. And then I'm just going to simplify this. So it's going to be 4x squared plus 4x, and 1 plus 1, what is 1 plus 1 going to be? 2. And that's going to be my final answer. Okay, let's look at another example. So in this case, I just give you one function and I ask that double again. Now again, just write the function 2 times out, okay? And then throw the one into the other one, okay? And then you get the answer. So it's not so difficult. Let's look at an example. So just write the function, the same function, 2 times out. Okay, let's do number 10 and just do number 1. Again, you can continue the video as soon as you are finished. So in this case, let's start with number 1. So I'm asking you, what is the function? The function will be fx equals 3x minus 1. And I ask you double. Now, if I ask you double, just write it 2 times out. It's not necessary. It's more for students that struggle a little bit. So if I ask you then, f, remember I can just say f. I can leave out that x, okay? But in this case I was putting it. Now it's just take this function, throw it into this one in the place of x. So you are going to get 3 bracket 3x minus 1 minus 1. That's all. And that's going to give you 9x minus 3 minus 1, which is going to give you 9x minus 4. Final answer. Let's look at the last one. So given this, this and this, find this in the simplest, okay? So just remember, you're just going to g, x plus 1. So first go and substitute x plus 1. Did you see? Okay, so start with g and substitute x plus 1. Okay, and then you put that answer in f. And it's working a bit with indices. So, and then you just get your answer. And then solve the equation. Now in this case, it's hx equals. So first find hx. And this is what I did there. Throw h in h, that is hx. And then I say it must be equal to 83. Put it equal to 83, get the value of that one. I want you to stop the video and I just want you to do number 1. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Number 1. Okay, if I'm asking you, I give you the functions. I just want to write it first. Fx equals x to the power of 3 and gx equals 2x minus 3, and I ask you to find fgx and equals to 1 to 5. So let's first find fg. I'm asking you to find fgx equals 1 to 5. But what I'm first going to do is I'm going to find fgx. Now remember, start from the back. I'm going to take this and I'm going to throw it in there in the place of x. So I'm going to get, in this case, I'm going to get this one. I'm going to get 2x minus 3 to the power of 3. Now, first don't simplify this. First see what they are saying. Now they say, put in the place of this fx 1 to 5. Fgx. Oh, let's just see that. And now we're going to simplify that. Now, how do we get rid of that to the power of 3? We take the cube root, we take the cube root. So, what is the cube root of 1 to 5? It's going to be 5. And then just that cube root is going to cancel with that cube. Okay. And now I can simplify it by saying 2x equals 5 plus 3, so 2x equals 8. I divide 2, so therefore the value of x will be equal to 4. Okay. And that's that. It will be good if you do an exercise in the textbook and to practice this kind of functions as many as possible questions.